I'm a food stylist. Consider me a makeup artist for food. I take boring, everyday, average food and make it look amazing. I'm gonna show you how I style my version of a Chipotle burrito to make it look just like the commercial. So here I have a Chipotle burrito just straight from the restaurant. And I'm gonna show you why this is not something I would use for food styling. I know it definitely looks like a jam-packed Chipotle burrito, but you really can't see any of the things that are on the inside. When you see a picture or an ad of a burrito, you can see the really nice flour tortilla on the outside and all the ingredients on the inside. I'm just gonna cut the very top of the burrito off and we're gonna see exactly what this looks like on the inside. You can kind of see all the ingredients, but there's no way that they're distinguishable from anything else. Right now, this burrito is a hot mess, but we're gonna fix that. So I have a reference photo from the Chipotle website of a chicken burrito. The thing that really works about this photo is just how well you can see every single ingredient that goes inside this burrito. You have the beautiful white flour tortilla on the outside, and then on the inside, you've got rice that is completely white in color, your black beans, really beautiful pieces of white meat chicken, and on the top, you've got small pieces of diced tomato, red onion, cilantro from a salsa or pico de gallo, and the sour cream is just ever so conveniently placed on the top of the pico de gallo, so it's really apparent, you can see it really well, and it just looks really delicious. So I have a store-bought pico de gallo, which looks pretty good, but I also found these tomatoes that have a really vibrant skin, and that is really what I wanna incorporate into our beauty shot of our Chipotle burrito. The way I'm gonna slice this tomato is just to slice around the core of the tomato. So now I just have this outside skin portion of the tomato, so I'm gonna dice this. Now I'm gonna move on to red onion. If it's a small onion, it really usually has a nice defined shape on the inside of the onion, which leaves you with a really clean looking cut. The parts that are the most recognizable and the prettiest are the pieces that have the most color, which are usually from the outside. So I just wanted to take a minute and talk about the chicken inside of the Chipotle burrito photo. It has a very distinct look to it. So this is what I would like to try and replicate with my chicken that I've prepared. So I just picked out boneless, skinless chicken breasts and then grilled them myself, which gives it really nice color. As a comparison, I have a piece of chicken from the Chipotle burrito and a piece of my chicken that I prepared. The color is completely different. My chicken looks clean, it looks fresh, it looks moist, and then the Chipotle chicken, however flavorful it probably is dark, looks a little dry. You really can't even identify it as a piece of chicken, which would not work for food styling and food photography. Now I'm gonna work on building my burrito. For this, I have to do a little bit of a sort of craft project. So I have paper plates and my large flour tortilla. What I'm gonna do is take these paper plates and kind of make them into a cylinder. Basically, what this does is allows me to have a solid filler for my burrito. Something you wouldn't particularly expect to see come out in a food video, duct tape. But it comes in really handy for all sorts of things. So right now, I'm just trying to get the size of my paper plates exactly where I want it so that when I wrap the burrito around it, it makes the opening exactly the way that I wanna see it. I'm just gonna have to cut down my paper plates a little bit to make it fit exactly where I want. That looks pretty good, right? The shape of the tortilla around the paper plates makes it look exactly like an already stuffed burrito. Another thing you might not expect to see in a food stylist kit is Polygrip. What it does is it allows the tortilla to stick to each other, kind of like glue. Super strong for an all-day hold. Now I'm gonna fill the empty cavity of the burrito with some paper towels. I don't wanna have all kinds of food in there. I don't want the burrito to get soggy, and there's just no reason. We're only gonna see the very opening front face of the burrito. So generally, when you see an ad for some sort of food, like this. Most of the time, it's not actually filled with food. It's sort of set up like an illusion. You're really only gonna use the amount of food that the eye can see. Before I fill the burrito, we're gonna wrap it. So Chipotle uses a specific type of foil to wrap their burritos. So we were lucky enough to get our hands on some. I'm making a clean edge to make it seem like the burrito has been rolled and wrapped. So I've got my tortilla trimmed, so now I'm gonna start wrapping it with the foil. And I have to be really careful because this stuff is really thin. So now I'm gonna work on the face of the burrito, which is the part of the burrito that faces the viewer. That's where it's gonna get a little challenging as I continue to build and place all the ingredients in a perfect, organized way. So I'm gonna take my scissors and just trim around the face of the burrito. I'm gonna start by adding a little bit of sour cream on the base of the tortilla. What that's gonna do is when I put the rice in, the rice will actually stick to the tortilla. I'm gonna slowly start adding rice. I think that I'll definitely have to go back over and add more as I continue to build, but it's sort of the base of the whole face of the burrito. I've decided I'm gonna put the burrito on a piece of parchment paper. That way I can build it facing me and then easily turn it around to the front camera for a beauty shot. I've got my rice where I want it now, so now I'm gonna work on the next layer, which are the black beans. I just have store-bought black beans that I drained and rinsed, and I'm picking out the prettiest ones. Okay, so I have a nice layer of beans in here. I'm going to definitely keep adding more of each component as I continue to build the face of the burrito, but I'm gonna move on to the chicken now. So I'm just gonna start by putting pieces in, you know, a little further back and then working my way up. Oh, it's such a test of patience. I'm gonna try another technique because I'm trying to put the chicken into the burrito, but it's just falling out and it's making me super frustrated. So I'm gonna take a piece of the chicken and put it on a toothpick and try and place it into the burrito exactly where I want it to be. And hopefully that'll keep it from falling out. So this is very similar to if you were building model cars or, I mean, I don't know, I don't do any of that stuff. I've got some chicken pieces in there. It's starting to look good. Trying not to like breathe on it or upset it in any way. I'm using the slightly less attractive pico to fall back into the open burrito a little bit. I'll use the prettier pieces out front. I'm gonna paint some more sour cream around these top edges of the tortilla so that I can continue to stick some rice along the edges of the burrito, but then also you'll be able to see the actual just like plain sour cream without rice on it at the top. It's like gouging your eyeballs out with a rusty needle. Just kidding, it's not. I'm gonna start adding my beauty pieces of chopped tomato. And I'm strategically placing them in this open space on the very top of the burrito. I'm carefully adding these pieces of onion in between the tomato and sour cream. Definitely trying not to like send it into full-on avalanche mode. I think I need to add a couple more things. I think right here in particular, there needs to be another piece of chicken. This is getting very dangerous right now. I think I'm gonna have to toothpick this piece of chicken into the burrito because I feel if I just place it on the outside, it's just gonna fall right off. Final steps. I'm adding a little bit of water to my sour cream. That way I can put it in one of my pipettes and let it kind of flow down into the burrito a little bit. This burrito has got me like all kinds of tense. Okay, I'm just delicately putting the sour cream into the burrito. I'm kind of filling some holes, but I definitely want it to look like it's sort of cascading out of the burrito, make it look really creamy and delicious. I'm adding a bean right here because I felt like there was a little bit of an empty spot. God forbid things start falling out. I'm gonna take a clean, very fine paintbrush and clean off the sour cream off of this tomato. Everything is gonna be fine, people. The last piece to this whole burrito situation is the beautiful and fresh green cilantro. I'm gonna have to trim small pieces off the cilantro leaf and place them where I want them to go. You can really see even the tiniest pieces of cilantro really makes the burrito pop. And if you've ever thought about possibly becoming a food stylist, I hope this really shows you the amount of patience and dedication it takes to do this job. Okay, I'm really happy with the way this looks. It's definitely been a challenge. We're gonna clean all this up, turn it around, and do our final beauty shot. All right, I am very happy with this, and honestly, a little relieved to be done with it. We've got our white background to make it look like it's floating in space, just like the ad. Last thing I'm gonna do is add a couple of stray black beans out in front of the burrito to look like they just happened to have fallen right out in such a convenient place. And the last thing I'm gonna do is paint a little bit of oil onto the chicken and the black beans to make them look extra moist and delicious. All right, it wasn't easy, but it totally paid off. It took a lot of time and a lot of patience, but this Chipotle burrito is ready for its close-up debut. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. If you're watching on YouTube, click the bell and comment below. Let me know what you want to see me style next. Thanks for watching.